The distinctive textiles of Estonia were not created for the purpose of exporting textiles to other countries, but were made rather as personal artifacts for the marking of individual rites of passage. Historically, the creation of clothing undertaken by Estonian women began as a way of illustrating narratives of life, the progression from girlhood to marriage to wifehood to motherhood, and everything in between. In Estonia, your completely homemade outfit was an expression of who you and your family were. It was a way of proving your competence, availability, and suitability for marriage, and an expression of your dedication to your community and of your skill. Additionally, with the threat of continual invasion, his Estonian national costume was likely an important means for creating a distinctive cultural identity in the face of ongoing foreign rule. These key factors and the specific materials available in the Estonian landscape have resulted in uniquely complex, elaborate, and detailed textiles. The pride, competitiveness, maintenance of tradition, and narratives associated with these textiles are still important today. While the elaborate hand-knitted craft and the wedding rituals of the past are no longer commonly practiced in Estonian society, interest in the techniques used to create old textiles and the meanings they convey remain relevant to today's fashion and textile industry. Looking at the textiles provided in the Estonian National Museum collection from the various locations where these textile crafts were created offer great insight to the highly skilled crafts of this country's history. Hand dyeing was and still is a craft practiced in Estonia. During Soviet times, Estonia grew a lot of vegetables at home. This interest in the fruits of nature extended to a healthy and prevalent interest in natural dyeing. Madder, indigo, and mushroom dyeing were some of the ways yarns were dyed in Estonia, along with birch leaves, as the birch tree is prevalent there. However, indigo-dyed goods were considered precious because they had to be imported at a high price. The island of Muhu in Estonia has probably some of the most amazing combination of textile skills in their garments, which feature fine-gauge knitting, crochet, cross-stitching, lace-making, embroidery, the list goes on. The traditional colors of Muhu for women's apparel was bright pink, bright orange, and bright yellow, while for men's garments it was orange and black. Hand spinning and the keeping of rare breed sheep are not the same in Estonia as in the UK, where in England there are many breed societies and regional spinning guilds. There's no tradition of combing wool or worsted spinning wool in Estonia because there are no long wool sheep there. Carding is the main means of preparing the fibers, which is historically grown on the sheep in Estonia, and there is no tradition of using teasels for this task. It has always been done with hand cards featuring tiny metal teens. The black-faced and white-faced Estonian sheep were established in the 1930s with crossbreeding from the UK breeds and are primarily kept for meat. However, the Estonian native sheep is an ancient indigenous breed with 4 distinctive bloodlines originating in Kinu, Runu, Sari, and Hiiu. Traditional Estonian skirts are woven in a single rectangle, gathered around the waist along one side and finished off with a hand-embroidered red hem down the other. This hem acts as a protective circle of red. Every parish and district of Estonia is associated with its own distinctive stripes and woven patterns, and these stripes and colors also vary according to age, marital status, children, and more. The warp thread for these skirts is usually linen, and then the colors and patterns are built up with very fine woolen weft threads. What makes this country's textiles so incredible is the passion for creating that their ancestors had. They did not create these works of art as a means to sell, but rather to create a self-sufficient culture full of value, skill, and storytelling.